DocMas residents, and welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and next to me is the doctor himself. Every time.
Christmas.
What?
I'm trying to do the opposite of what we do for Doctober,
Yeah.
where we use a Christmas voice to say Halloween
What are you
things.
talking about?
So I'm using a Halloween voice to say the word Christmas.
Huh.
Christmas. It's like a zombie.
Oh, I thought you were being offensive.
Hang on. I've got a better one for a zombie. Candy canes. Fuck yeah.
Not rains.
Deer.
Well, no,
That's
like,
if there's more than one.
yeah.
How many rains deer do you have?
Rains.
Yeah.
I
I have 8 rains deer. And sometimes that one fucking mutant freak if it's foggy.
Did you watch that TikTok about that?
No.
There's a TikTok
About how they're abusive to Rudolph and he shouldn't help them? Is that what it is?
No, about the fact that it's nothing to do with the fact that his nose lights up. It's the fact that it makes that fucking sound. So funny.
That's true.
That's
true.
Zombie that goes to the gym.
Gains.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was ready for that one. Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right.
This is here's my impression of Frankenstein working at a garage telling you that it's time to make an upgrade to your car for safety.
Okay.
Tires bad.
You could just do tire bad too. That would work, but
Yeah, like just one.
yeah. It's got a flat.
You're only making insane right turns all the time.
Yeah. Or you just be like, it's a flat tire.
I feel like you don't get what the
No,
bit
you wanted a
was.
much more convoluted thing where he's seeing that the whole car needs an upgrade because all of the tires are wrong or something. Yeah, okay.
Yep. But it also rhymes with fire bad.
No. I get where that.
Okay.
No. That
I just want to
didn't-
make sure.
That you didn't lose me there.
All right.
That's. Or he's a.
Okay, here I've got one for you.
Okay.
You're out for a night of drinks with your friends and Dracula.
Okay.
And Dracula's gay and he pulls you aside to tell you something.
I want to suck your dick.
I want to suck your bud is what I was going to say. I want to suck your bud is what I was going to say.
Sure. Yeah, no.
Shit. Go on.
Frankenstein working for HR.
Okay.
Hire bad.
Yeah.
We're good at Christmas.
Yeah, that's all I got for now.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll touch base later. This is the 4th day of DocMas, of the 12 days of DocMas,
That's right.
in which we record an episode for every day. I get. God damn it.
The fucking lactose sweats are in you.
We record 12 episodes in a single day, release them for the 12 days leading up to Christmas.
This is the 7th year of this. You can't be this bad at it. This year, DocMas VII is Dairy DocMas.
Yeah.
Moo Dairy Moo Problems, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
And for episode 4, as we continue through the day,
the 4th movement.
the 4th movement of the Dairy Tonic Scale.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ugh.
The one you've been dreading the most.
The one I've been dreading the most. This is a thing I do not like.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. It's not that you don't like cheese. It's that you don't like melted cheese.
I don't like the texture of melted, stringy cheese, which is why I let pizza cool down. It's why I tend not to like.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
I think I've made this as close to what I can handle as possible.
Did you put a single end of regular block of cheese in here?
I cut a bunch of pieces of a regular block of cheese.
Oh, this is just regular cheese. Okay, this is just like cheddar. Like there isn't like a single in here too, is there?
Oh no, here I'll tell you what's in there. So we've got just regular bread. We've got an old cheddar in there, just regular kind of old orange cheddar, and
There's something else in there.
mayo racha.
Oh,
So you got double dairied, baby. You got mayo, and you've got
Good
fucking
God.
cheese in there.
God, my stomach.
So here we
So-
go. Grilled cheese sandwich. You tell me about talk to me about grilled cheese. Is grilled cheese? I mean, obviously, the asterisk here always is lactose intolerance notwithstanding.
Lactose and
Do you have like
gluten
fond
intolerance.
memories of like grilled cheese? Like, did you used to be fine with it as a kid or something? Or?
I think so. I eat grilled cheeses maybe once or twice a year.
Oh God,
Struggling through it already, eh?
it's such a gross texture.
I think people like love melted cheese. Watching you as if it's too hot in your mouth is the way that you're acting.
No, it's like I'd rather eat fucking like worm. I'd rather have gach.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'd rather eat gach.
That's fucking insane. Yeah, I like it plenty. I can't watch you do this because you're making me sick just the way that you're reacting to fucking melted cheese.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Fucking child.
I don't like this. This is supposed to be bad for you, not me.
Yeah, it had to be a little bit bad for
What
you.
don't you understand about this? The tables have turned and I'm upset.
Yeah. My secret for making grilled cheese sandwiches is instead of putting butter on the outside, I put mayo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is really fucking good.
So again, well, I guess mayo's not dairy.
Nope.
Because it's eggs.
Yeah, it's eggs.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just eggs and oil. And
Yeah.
You're right. It's not double dairy.
Mm-mm.
It's a little spicy. I like the flavor at least.
It's the texture you're having a problem with. It's like watching a 4-year-old eat something for the first time who doesn't like it.
Oh, I hate this. There's so much left.
But yeah, so I think I wanted to talk about before we kept going, which is you asked me before we started recording if I've gone to the bathroom yet, and I have not.
Yeah. Yeah, hang on. BM update.
BM bulletin.
Breaking poos.
Yeah, speaking of Kitchener, there's been no water poos.
Yeah, you're going to be on the 24-hour poos cycle after this.
I haven't gone yet. I haven't had so a thing that I'm sure some people can relate to this, unlike maybe the fucking double this week. I have like a natural reaction to being at work, which is like I to poop when I'm at work.
I think you can program a Pavlovian response for your body easier than almost anyone.
Yeah. And so I typically don't really poop that much on the weekends.
Right.
Even with coffee, like it just doesn't hit the same.
Right.
Yo, it just does. It
hit different.
Yeah, it hit different.
That weekend coffee hit different.
Yeah. And so it's like, especially like Mondays, my body's just like, the second coffee touches my lips, it's just like, it's fucking go time.
Right. I will say I pee more at work than I do on a day where I don't have to go to work.
Well, and you probably Pavlovian like response.
Because I can go like, truly, I can go like 13, 14 hours without peeing on a regular day. But at work, I'll go to the bathroom like 5 times.
You also like had trained yourself for a long time to not go like dump at work.
True.
I don't know if that's the case in the new place.
Well, I got to be careful because it's an old building and the pipes can only take so much.
But
so I've got to be real careful.
But
it's better than where we used to work, where the bathroom had a glass window.
That's the upstairs. No one ever expects you to go to the
bathroom. Had an exterior door with a window in it, and you're like, "Oh, we'll put up a curtain so people can't see it," and then the curtain was just like a sheer lace fucking curtain.
It was already there.
I would leave work and walk to the park.
There's a bathroom downstairs.
No, because right next to your office. Can't have that. And I would walk to the park and I would take a shit in the public washroom of the park, which is literally just a glorified hole in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would do that. until the wintertime at least,
Yeah.
because then they close the
Then you
public.
hibernate.
They close the public washroom in the park. There was the one day where I was like, I forgot something at home.
Yeah, and I
then you
texted.
texted. You were like, "You're going to shit, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes."
So I'm slightly concerned for today that it's going to be this buildup that I don't actually end up going to the bathroom. And then it's like, it's either going to fuck my... Eat like a normal person.
I would if I...
You're eating like it's hurting your mouth.
It is.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
My stomach doesn't feel good. It feels like there's a rock in my stomach.
Or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah, there's a rock in my stomach. I'm horny.
Cool.
Yeah. And let's just say I'm having digestional distress.
Digestional distress.
Yeah. Intestinal distress.
This is the 4th episode. I can't believe that of all the things we've done, this is going to be the one that fucks you up the most.
It might be.
Of all the things we've done.
White wine still.
I don't know, man.
This is fucking me up the
I have
most.
a hard time picturing episode 11, you, during this.
I mean, one, fucking nuggets got hard fast.
That was bad.
White wine was the worst reaction to the events.
But that was mostly aftermath.
Yeah. So far, but I don't know. Last year's fucking... I mean, it was late in the game that it really hurt. It was after barbecue.
The coffee?
Yeah. After the barbecue.
Oh, right. We had barbecue.
Yeah. The foolishest, the dumbest
doing?
things. Yeah, it's like, oh, let's fill ourselves up with coffee and then barbecue.
To be fair, last year's DocMas
things
was during a fraught time.
Things were complicated.
Yeah.
It was a very complicated time of my life.
It sure was.
So...
I was just grateful it wasn't a solo DocMas.
It almost was.
It almost was.
No, instead I returned home to do that.
Yeah, which now that I think back, super fucked up.
Yep, could have just done it here, didn't.
Yeah.
Yep. So, with that, we get to our first question.
I hate this.
We're heading over to Facebook.
Going to the face of the book, going to the Facebook.
God, you're a child.
How dare you? In my house? In my studio?
All right.
Yeah.
Your wife opens the door.
Sorry.
Yeah. Chad Bokelman. Bokel.
Sorry, I was taking a drink.
Who asks, once upon a time, DC aged up the sidekicks and they became heroes in their own right. Wally West, Nightwing, Donna Troy. It says Donna Tori. I wonder how that happened. Etc.
I don't mistype.
The kids that grew up reading those comics are old enough to be creators now, and we're seeing some movements towards a changing of the guard, but not a total. Do you think we'll ever get away from the Silver Age staples? Will we eventually look back on Hal and Barry, etc., the way we used to look back on Alan and Jay? Still around, but not the focus.
Yeah, I mean, a fair question. I mean, I think... even the framing of this question is an admission that we know no matter what new characters come along, no matter how popular they are, no matter how well received they are, we will never, ever move past Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, Diana Prince.
Yeah.
Those three aren't going fucking anywhere. Now, we can add to those families, and those other characters could get books that support themselves and be popular and stuff like that, but we're never moving past the Trinity. The Flash is an interesting one because right now is the first time since, I guess, like 2009 that Barry is mostly not in the picture. He's barely around. We know he exists, but he's really on the periphery. Wally is the lead of the Flash book, has been for a few years. Wally is also on the Titans, who right now have taken the place of the Justice League. So, like, Wally is the Flash. Barry exists now kind of in the J way, where he'll bomb into the book, or he's there when they do the big, like, the 1 minute war, like, event or stuff like that, or he's there as part of, like, the Justice Incarnate, like the multiversal Justice League. Mm-hmm. but he's not really around. I think the Hal question's a lot harder because I feel like the Flash, we're pretty okay with Wally just being the Flash. The Green Lantern thing is harder, and I think it just boils down to Hal is just fundamentally a more interesting character than Barry. As much as Barry came back and monopolized the Flash for a while, Barry's not that interesting, and the only things that make him interesting are generally people applying shit from Wally to him.
Oh, interesting.
Like, the idea of the Speed Force, that came around during Wally's run as the Flash. That wasn't a Barry
Oh, really?
We retroactively applied that to Barry. Barry always he would, like, you know, do Flash Factor stuff like that, but, like, being, like, funny and quippy is a Wally thing. We only apply that to Barry on the show or the movies or the shit, you know what I mean? Like, whereas Hal himself is an interesting character. And so I do think it's harder to move away from Hal that way. And, John Stewart's a great Green Lantern. We get lots of cool John Stewart stories. Guy is fun for flavor, but, like, that's not a character that I would want to just anchor the Green Lantern book. Jessica Cruz is probably, of all of the Earth ones, the one I'd most want to see anchor the Green Lantern title.
Yeah.
But really, when you think about it, you know, like, Kyle had a very long run, but Kyle is in a weird kind of limbo state right now. We could give it back to Kyle, but it feels like Kyle should be doing something bigger and better. Like, I've talked about this a lot. I want him to be the White Lantern again. I actually kind of liked that shit for him.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like, Green Lantern, you know, even John Stewart, he's kind of like a Green Lantern, like, he's a guardian. He's like a Green Lantern, like, god a little bit right now. So if you're just talking about a Green Lantern, it actually is hard to move away from Hal a little bit. I think at some point we probably will, but I think that's why that feels more difficult than the Barry question. Aquaman, you know, it's great. Like, Arthur shows up every once in a while, but he's, like, even as a character, been very content to step away from various duties. Even just during his run of Aquaman, he's like, I don't want to be the king anymore. And he goes and lives in a cave. Or he's like, I don't want to be a superhero anymore. And he fucks off and does it. Like, so Aquaman, you don't really think about that much. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if we'll ever really feel, though, that Hal and Barry are like Alan and Jay, unless Alan and Jay die. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
I see, yeah.
I don't think we'll see them join, like, the, quote, retirees club or, like, whatever and, like, hang out with them. Like, but if Alan and Jay were gone, then Hal and Barry might more easily move to that position.
Sure.
But I don't think we'll ever really shake them that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thought anyway. But
I think
right now is probably to the point of this question, it's probably the most we've pretended that we're moving on from the main Justice League in a long time.
I think the problem that we're not bringing up, which is the fact that in every other format, though, we're still returning to those characters.
Yeah.
Like, Barry may be gone in the comics,
right,
but he's so prevalent in movies and TV.
100%. And a very fair point. You know, when they did the Green Lantern animated series, you could throw in all the characters you want, but Hal was the main character.
Yeah, like,
100% right. And that, I guess what remains to be seen is we know Hal is part of that Lanterns show, but so is John. What remains to be seen is, like, what is the trajectory of this new era of the DCU? And, you know, we already know James Gunn has a love for, like, delving a little deeper and finding something a little less surface or whatever. But I think you are right that will help set the tone back to the comics a little bit, where it's like, if we characterize them properly, people really respond to Wally, and Barry is kind of just like there. Mm-hmm. That'll help anchor the thing that the comics are already doing, which is Wally is the Flash, Barry is there. You know, like, I think that does go a long way.
It's funny when I compare it to Marvel. I feel like Marvel doesn't, like, besides outside of, like, Peter Parker, like, otherwise I can't really think of Marvel characters that, like, maybe Thor, but like Thor doesn't have, beyond the movies, like Thor doesn't have the lasting sort of like brand equity that DC characters do, right? Like
Yeah,
I think like they've got Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is sort of like they know who Peter Parker is. They know
and
Spider-Man.
like X-Men, like specifically Wolverine.
I guess
something like
Wolverine,
that.
but that's kind of it from the X-Men. Like from like really like if you went to somebody and were
to
like,
really understand the character. You mean?
yeah, if I went to like to another country and it was like name an X-Man, maybe you'll get Wolverine, but like I don't know how many people would be like maybe Cyclops, but then I'm sort of gone. Like,
Yeah, I think the X-Men are a relatively large footprint, or they were at least.
I think that it doesn't have
pre-MCU. I would have said people know who the X-Men are. But
yeah. I think that it's less and less of like a relevant thing, like the way that like Superman is like known as one of the strongest brands in the world. Period.
sure, yeah.
But like and Batman obviously. So it's like it's kind of curious, and it's a thing that I've been thinking a lot about because of the Miles Morales of it all, which is like Tom Holland basically is like, I don't like, unless we're moving towards another character, I kind of don't want to return. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'll come in and say farewell and bring in like Miles.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really want to do any more Spider-Man. And it's like, feels like that's the next move for Spider-Man. Like, I'm very curious because I don't know how that actually works from the Sony Marvel deal thing. Like how if Miles Morales is even included part of that.
I don't understand all of that enough.
Because right now they like we have to get another one out next year, I think, or the year after.
And the rumor was that they were gonna like formally merge the Sony shit to the MCU, and I don't even know how you start doing that.
Nah, yeah. So I'm kind of curious about how that folds out, but like like Miles Morales is slowly becoming a character that could theoretically, with a long enough timeline, replace like there's a very
Miles
similar,
really should
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
And not that you have to kill Peter or anything, but he's off doing his own thing.
yes. And I think like
Once in a while we'll go like, "Hey Peter."
Yeah,
But
yeah,
otherwise like he's doing his own thing.
the game did a really good job, and I hope that the TV show or the movies do the
Right.
same thing. But
Yeah.
that's probably my perspective on it, though.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from Facebook over to Threads.
Threads.
The question from Threads come from Ty Jarus, who asks, "Identity crisis, one of the worst mess ups in DC fiction?"
So Identity Crisis, quick recap. That's the one where it starts with the death of Sue Dibney, and as they investigate that, the heroes think it must be tied to what had happened to Sue years earlier, where Dr. Light had sexually assaulted her, and then they mind wiped and like lobotomized Dr. Light.
Yes.
It actually had nothing to do with that, and it was really the Atom's ex-wife. Fuck, what's her name? Jean. Sorry. But she kind of goes crazy and wants the Atom back, and so she steals his bio belt, shrinks down, tries to just give Sue an aneurysm, kills her, and then torches her body to make them think it was something else. And she's like, I just wanted to hurt her because then Ralph would go to her and everyone would think to go to the people they love and you'd come back to me, Ray. But then in the course of all of this, the shit about the memory wiping and that comes out. It's like an accident that it comes out, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
This story touches on some interesting ideas. The idea of that secret thing, like why is Dr. Light such a joke?
Yeah.
But he used to fight the Justice League. Well, here's our thing of why. That idea of like, there are characters like Hawkman or whatever who'd be like, yeah, this guy's gone too far. We have to do something. And that they kind of cross this moral line. They got to live with it, good or ill, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting idea. It's where the book goes wrong is just like reveling in the violence of it all. Like, so Sue Dibney gets her brain kicked in and then her body torched. And then we have to flash back to her getting sexually assaulted. And for what? Like the big learning of this thing is that like almost none of that like meant anything. It's all like an accident, like not the sexual assault, but I just mean like we only uncover the memory thing kind of by accident.
Yeah.
to have Jean Loring, that's her name, just like arbitrarily go like boy crazy for the atom and commit this crime and then murder by accident just to get the atom back. Like that's like, it's all just so, it feels too much like things like The Boys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But without actually deconstructing anything. Like the problem is it just soils things. It doesn't examine them. Like that's the real problem with Identity Crisis is it's doing all of the like edgy, like what if a superhero did this kind of thing. But it's not like doing it to examine that as a piece of literature or examine the pop culture or examine how they act. It's just like doing it to do it, which is pretty fucked up. I don't know if it's the biggest mistake, but it's up there. And it's hard to compare some of those things too, because like sometimes there's similar ideas, but they're handled a little bit differently, but they're still ultimately as meaningless. Like Heroes in Crisis, I think is the closest parallel I could think of to Identity Crisis in terms of like, why would you do this? You just like at the end of it, you just go like, why?
To what end?
Why did you do this? Why did you take an interesting idea and make it this? And that's my feeling about it. It might not be the biggest mess up, but it's probably among the more unforgivable kind of like things,
It feels nuts, and then also just like sets off Batman. So,
I mean, I think how people treated, like, in the way that like Killing Joke wounded Barbara Gordon, but then like later they were like, what if we make her Oracle? Someone like reclaimed, like you could reclaim a bad idea and turn it into something good. Like you could take the bad ideas from Identity Crisis and then do an interesting thing about Batman and his trust issues and shit like that. And, leading to OMAC or whatever. You could do a thing with Ralph about him being so upset and then going on this like one last like ghost mystery to try and resurrect his wife. Like that's an interesting story. I wish it didn't have to happen at all, but like people made lemonade out of lemons with this story, but I'd rather not have to deal with that at all.
Fair. All right, let's go to the next question.
Okay.
We're leaving Threads and heading over to the Doc Scored. Doc Scored.
Good King Doxus scored, looked out on the score.
Figured this was coming.
Scored when the score lay docked about. Docs and scored and even.
Dachshund scored this.
That night, though the Docs was scored. Scored a dog, scored in a dogs. Dogs are scored for questions.
Nice.
You're welcome.
First question from the Doc Score comes from Cosmic DM Classic.
God, excuse me. Ugh.
Uh-oh.
That was just like a burp of revulsion.
This might happen to both of us.
No. We're going to have to double deck the...
Oh my God. You have an upstairs bathroom.
No.
So that means one of us shitting in the tank?
No.
Legs spread open?
Yeah. The other one shits
Legs spread open. Legs spread open.
Cup cocky.
That one's for you.
Wow. Jesus.
All right. Cosmic DM Classic asks,
okay,
what's the most medium comic character you can think of?
I want you to go first on this one.
It's tough, right? Because what constitutes medium, right? Which is, because is it their abilities? Is it their recognition? Is it their usage? Is it like...
Or just like as a character, as like a
concept.
Right.
I think that there's so many ways to approach this.
Yeah. You kind of almost need to make like a bunch of categories and rank them.
Oh my God, that sounds so fun.
Ugh, God.
The amount that I wish that I could do that in preparation for this, but
Jesus.
I don't have all the time in the world. Got
all the time in the world.
I wish that this is the sickness that I would do with like Infinite Age or like a time machine. Because I would love to really figure
I'll
out
mathematically solve every question we've ever answered. On the
what's
podcast.
at the from a most like scientific standpoint, like what character would really come out as the most mid?
Sure, yeah.
Because it's also like they've been.
I mean, even us trying to do our mid TV like double, it was hard to define mid because we still ultimately we had to settle on the idea at least that our lists had to be things we watched a lot of, which inherently means we must have liked them a bit. So it's like the mid of shit we watched a bunch of.
Yeah, right. Which
is like
a
not
subcategory.
It's still not 100% pure mid.
So I immediately go to characters that have been used a medium amount.
Right.
Which is hard.
It is, yeah.
Because I don't really have that kind of tracker. And then a character who I think from an interesting standpoint is mid. There's a character that comes to mind, and I don't know how real. There's two characters that come to mind for two different reasons.
Okay.
So the first one was the one that first came to my mind, which is Firestorm.
Interesting.
It's a character that, like, in theory would be interesting, but, like, kind of doesn't use their abilities to what it could actually, like, the end result be.
Sure.
It's a character with, like, I mean, and it partly came from me thinking of the Atom, which I think is also pretty mid, but
right.
I think Firestorm is, like, another level more mid when it comes to their, like, usage of their abilities and...
Right.
Like,
so like on a wasted potential
yeah,
kind of front.
Yeah. It's a character that's been used a medium amount, I think.
Sure.
Like, had their own series, so I mean more than the Atom.
And that series ran for like 100 issues.
Yeah. Like it's not unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Which partly is the reason why I think it's mid, because it's like it's not unknown.
Yeah.
It's a character that gets on TV, but not like a main character.
Right.
Like they always sort of fly in the middle, and I think that's sort of the one.
Interesting.
The other one, I think more of their actual, like, the character development. I think their actual abilities are pretty mid when it comes to a world of DC superheroes, which is honestly, DC's not full of a lot of mid powers.
Sure, there's a lot of pretty wild powers.
Yeah, Wildcat for one. But I think
he has no powers.
Yeah, but that's
except for kind of sometimes when it's like, does he have 9 lives?
Yeah, but like he's more. I think he's below mid, depending on the category you're talking about.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow, you're coming for Wildcat.
Yeah.
Shit.
Look, it's not the first time I've come for Wildcat on the show.
Easy.
No, I meant more because of the whole right wing thing. I think he is.
Oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah, sorry.
But I'm gonna say Hawkman. It's kind of mid.
Holy shit.
Like, I think their abilities wise, it's like, what actually is it?
He's the greatest aerialist.
Exactly. It's pretty mid.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Whoa, fuck, bro.
Holy shit, you're coming for Hawkman.
Yeah.
I wish I had a better defense than just indignance. Interesting. Well, shit.
I mean, it's a hard question.
It is a really hard question.
Almost like you need a system to come up with the perfect answer.
No.
Wing it.
Time to just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are interesting picks. Firestorm and Hawkman are interesting picks. I don't 100% hate that. I think maybe one for me is like Red Tornado.
Sure.
A couple of times I've seen the spark of what makes Red Tornado interesting. And that, like, you know, it's like Data having a cat, like him having a family and like, I am learning, or like,
yeah,
but like that kind of thing. A couple of times I've seen a good version of that, but for the most part, I think Red Tornado is sort of like weird, wasted kind of potential a little bit. And I might throw, I think I'd throw a character like Geoforce in there.
Oh, sure.
Because that also feels like a real waste. Like there's not a ton of Terra kinetics, but one of the other main ones that we have is his sister Terra, who Judas Contract. We shouldn't touch that story, but like, at least she's fascinating, you know, like, and was, yeah. But Geoforce is like both boring and like, he's a geokinetic. We should use this shit. And it just feels like it only ever comes back to him being angry about Tara, him being angry about Markovia. Like, we never really, even on Young Justice, I think they didn't do great with it. Like, I feel like he should be more important. He should be a bigger player. Black Adam is in Kandak. Count Vertigo's in Vlatova. Prince Brion Markov, like Geoforce, should be in Markovia, this big thing. But we always, like, he always seems like he's on the periphery. Even when a story takes place in Markovia, we're like, is Geoforce here right now?
Yeah.
Like, we kind of look around and be like,
that's a good.
Where the fuck is he? Like, that's my feeling about that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. With that, we'll go to the last question on the doc scored. Comes from Dave Rossi.
Oh, Dave.
Who asks...
Dashel, turn off the podcast.
Truly. Even though
Dashel, turn on the milk fountain. I bet... Fuck.
Also known as your mom.
No. First of all, how dare you? Secondly, I realize how bad that sounds. What I was picturing was like an actual fountain of milk because we're doing Dairy DocMas. Thirdly, I am so sorry, Dave.
Also, yeah, Dashel, put your kids to bed and turn on the podcast.
Why would I say turn on the
milk fountain? It's what I call a date night with my wife.
I'm real sorry.
You do it to yourself more than I ever do. Dave Rossi asks, pick your favorite JLA and Legion of Doom lineups and tell us what each character's favorite TV show is.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
I mean, my favorite Justice League lineup is almost always going to be the
JLA.
More or less like the big seven. So Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter.
That's JLA.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love a Legion of Doom where it's like one villain from each. You know what I mean? Like, you should have Lex, Joker, Cheetah.
Sure.
Grodd, Sinestro.
Not Egg Foo, no.
Ocean Master or Black Manta, I guess.
Sure.
And like Ma'alafa'ak or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that I enjoy. The question is, what TV shows are they watching?
What is each... tell us what each character's favorite TV show is.
Okay. I'm going to try and rapid fire.
Okay.
This.
JLA.
Superman loves Friday Night Lights.
Sure.
Batman watches Cops.
But he's a vigilante. He doesn't like cops.
Well, he just needs to know who to go after.
Oh, okay.
Wonder Woman watches Pawn Stars.
What?
Just because sometimes there's like a little historical that comes out there.
Sure. Okay.
This is my turn.
Okay.
The Flash watches. Like documentaries, I think.
Okay.
Like science documentaries and natural history kind of things.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, specifically Hal, watches. I think he watches like trashy, like Love Is Blind, like shit like that. I think Aquaman watches. I think Aquaman would watch like a kind of regular kind of procedural, like a NYPD Blue or some shit like that.
Oh, really?
I think he would just like. I think that would like connect him to the surface, just like mid TV. You know? Like that's his kind of indulgence. I think. Martian Manhunter, I think, would watch a lot of like romance, like rom-com kind of. Like romancy thing, like a Grey's Anatomy. Like I'm trying to a show version of it, something like a Grey's Anatomy or something like that. That was my JLA.
Okay,
you run down the Legion. Tell me who. I can feed you the characters if you need me to.
Okay.
So Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor's favorite show is Shark Tank.
Of course,
yeah,
that's a great one. Joker.
Joker's favorite show is that TV show we found where everything was trucks. or when
Oh,
everything had
God.
wheels.
Yeah, but they were animals or frogs or some
Everything was
shit.
like a
That was so fucked up. Yes, you're right. Cheetah.
Cheetah's favorite show is Ugly Betty.
Ooh, okay. Grodd.
Grodd's favorite show is something that makes like humans seem really stupid, like
Like Wipeout.
yeah.
Sinestro.
Ooh, Sinestro likes Mindhunter.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Ocean Master.
Ocean Master loves okay, I don't know Ocean Master that well. Ocean Master loves Jerry Springer.
Oh my god. That's so trashy. And then the Ma'alafa'ak.
Oh my god. Malafa'ak just watches he likes Hot Ones.
Did you see the one with Elizabeth Olsen? Just them sitting around the Legion of Doom. She handles it like a pro.
Yeah.
Idris Elba fucking gave up.
Yeah,
But-
that's
all right. We got it. Okay, meeting call to order.
what I like is when they like add something different to it, so they go in reverse, or Dax Shepard ate all of them.
I think people underrate how good of an interviewer Sean is.
Yeah.
Ma'alafa'ak won't shut up about
Hot
Hot
Ones.
Also, do you know what? Here's what I like about that
Mm-hmm.
pick. Ma'alafa'ak doesn't have the Martian weakness to fire.
But that's why I thought that.
That's pretty fucking good. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
Gotta
answers
go to
it.
this meeting. Ma'alafa'ak's gonna ask if I've seen the fucking. Have I seen the one where Bobby Lee shit himself?
Yeah.
Like,
Did you know DJ Khaled?
amazing.
Yeah, and also I think that
I think Lexi would be on Shark Tank.
yes,
Yes.
watching himself.
Yeah. Just buying and selling the other sharks.
Yeah. I think that, and I also think that Barry actually just watches Quibi.
Oh no.
Yeah, because it's quick bites. So
Yeah.
attention to
Yeah. It was for me.
Yeah.
Katzenberg got my letters.
Mhm. I love that.
Jesus.
All right. What's our? Can we bear it?
Can we bear it? A question from Bear. We're going to flip the coin and see if we answer it. So the question is, can you talk about Ace? If I remember correctly, he was a dog Batman saved from the Joker.
There's a classic
Flip it again.
fumble.
Fuck, heads. How is it?
Do you want me to do them instead?
Maybe next episode.
Okay.
I'll honor this. Ace the Bat Hound. Yeah, I mean, yeah, as far as I remember, that is roughly the origin of Ace. Although I imagine it's been depicted a few different ways over the years. The thing that I think is important for Ace is that he's got to be like exactly like Batman. Like Crypto is not personality-wise exactly like Clark.
No.
Crypto is more like just like a dog, like a happy dog that does like stuff like that. But Ace is like cartoonishly like Bruce.
That's so funny.
Like the idea, like totally stern, totally
Yeah.
like that's my favorite version of Ace the Bat Hound is one that is like exactly like Bruce, so well trained. Like it's you apply that thing of like I've been trying to train these kids, but they have their own wills.
Yeah.
The only one that I ever actually the dog that couldn't think for itself.
Yeah.
is the perfect product of my training.
That's very cool.
Like that's a sort of like element that I like about that, which is, you know, I mean, for many reasons, that Legion of Super Pets movie is super frustrating. Not the least of which is just like I'm the Rock. Can I just do anything?
Also, the voice for that Ace is
But like, here's what I'll say. to his credit, I think Kevin Hart is attempting to give a human performance in an otherwise like, why are you trying kind of movie.
Sure.
But it's wrong for the character of Ace the Bad Hound. You know what I mean? Ace has to be like the best version of Ace the Bad Hound I've ever seen, I think, is on Teen Titans Go.
Oh, okay.
Because they just play it like it's Bruce as a dog.
Yes.
And it's perfect.
That's
it's
what
so
it should
fucking
be.
funny, and that's how I always want Ace to be.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
that's my feeling about that. In general, I do think it's a little bit silly, but like for Batman to have like an actual pet.
mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the last question.
This fucking coin.
It's all Stump's fault. Or could be, possibly, your insane approach to flipping. But
you mean flip it normal and then catch it normal?
I mean, I will say you're doing the best you've ever done. I think it's because it's actually like a giant coin. And so
but
it's
also, yeah, I don't know. I think the weight's off.
Yeah. Only one way to find out. Not a great way to find out.
Oh, well, see, that time it went, well, fuck.
Maybe it's you.
No, just keep going.
Remember the Two-Faced episode?
Oh, my God. One of my favorite episodes we've ever done.
You do love when it's completely chaos and everything breaks.
I don't aim for it because I don't think you can force that to happen. But when it does, sometimes those are kind of my favorite episodes. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to send in questions, we're on all of the social media platforms. If you want to subscribe to our Patreon, there's lots you can get out of it in many different tiers.
Yeah, that's right. And all of them give you access to the Doc Squad, and at the higher ones, there's bonus episodes and bonus series even to listen to. And if you like listening to us over here, you might like hearing us talk about Supernatural.
Over on Ghostfacers.
Ghostfacers, a Supernatural rewatch. We're partway through season 8 of watching and talking about every single episode of the CW Supernatural.
That's right. You little fucking cucks. You got so much fucking episode today.
Yeah.
It's next episodes
is tomorrow for
you.
And we have more episode today.
Yeah.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.